One of Donald Trump's favorite economists made the argument on Fox News this week that there are people like minorities who simply aren't worth the $15 per hour minimum wage that many on the left are advocating for right now. I'm talking about Art Laffer. Art Laffer is the guy after whom the Laffer curve is named. This is the relationship between the rate of taxation and total government tax revenue. The idea is if government tax, the tax rate is 0, then the government takes in no tax revenue. If the tax rate is 100, the government also takes in no tax revenue, because why would anyone do any work if all of your money goes to taxes? So then once you understand that, you can find some point on the curve that maximizes government tax revenue. Laffer's view as a supply sider is that to maximize tax revenue, you go with a lower tax because people are more productive and therefore government revenue goes up. He's the concept is a fair concept. The way that Laffer applies it, applies his own economic views to it, doesn't really make any sense. Now, Trump loves this guy. Lots of right-wingers love this guy. So he goes on Fox News on Tuesday to argue there are poor people and marginalized people and people of color that just aren't worth $15 an hour. And look at how casually he says this.
Okay, Austin wants to talk about the current McDonald's CEO, Kemczynski. He's noting that artificial intelligence technology has 85% accuracy with filling orders, with workers having to step in for approximately 1 in 5 orders. It's going to be a big leap, he says, to go from 10 restaurants to 14,000 restaurants. But there is no doubt they are working in that direction, Art.
Yeah, for those people, Sandra, who are coming into the labor force brand fresh, not old timers who've been around for a while, the poor, the minorities, the disenfranchised, those with less education, young people who haven't had the job experience, these people aren't worth $15 an hour in most cases. And so therefore, when you have a $15 an hour minimum wage, they don't get that first job. They don't get the requisite skills to earn above the minimum wage. And after a few years, they become unemployable. And after becoming unemployable, they become hostile. And that what you'll find happening is this technology has created an underclass of people who are really just bid out of the labor market and will remain out of the labor market for most of their lives. And this, I think, is just a tragedy.
So understand, he's not listing a combination of traits. He's not saying, people who are poor and disenfranchised and less educated, who are disproportionately minorities in the country because of these historical reasons, that would be bad enough to say they're not worth $15 an hour. He's just saying people from groups like these, people like the young aren't worth $15 an hour. People like the uneducated aren't worth $15 an hour. People like minorities aren't worth $15 an hour. It's a total mask-off moment for this guy. If you want to argue that in some low cost of living states, there are some jobs where $15 an hour doesn't make sense based on the simplicity and the transience of the job, we can talk about it. I'll probably disagree with you, but maybe not. But that's a real conversation that we can have. But to say lots of minorities just aren't worth $15 an hour, that's another level, guys. That's on another level altogether. And while we're at it, why is being poor a sign that you're not worth $15 per hour? If you have the skill that the job requires and the wage is $15 per hour in the market, then why would your pre-existing economic status, whether you're poor or rich, why would that make a difference? It's nuts. And if we decide that human labor is to be compensated in a dignified way at $15 per hour, why does coming into the job poor make you less worthy of that wage? It's all completely insane. And the other aspect of this is that if we accept some or all of Laffer's argument, he's making a really strong case for universal basic income. I don't think he knows it. The context of this segment was automation. Automation and technology is going to start by taking out $15 an hour jobs. But then it's going to start taking out $20 an hour jobs, and then other jobs as technology develops. If that is really his argument, then why not a universal basic income? And then one other aspect to this, in lots of places, even $15 an hour jobs aren't being filled right now. Now, I think it's going to be temporary. The enhanced unemployment that's ending in September is a factor. We have a sort of unique circumstance right now in the aftermath, or as we start exiting the pandemic. I think by September, people are going to need jobs and they're going to be filled. But this is also a signal that in some cases, $15 an hour is too low. He either doesn't get it or doesn't want to acknowledge that. All of their arguments economically depend on these simplistic one-size-fits-all principles. Hey, it's your money. Why would the government tax you? That's theft. That's a really simple principle. Simplicity plays well with a lot of people, but it doesn't encompass the complexity of the real world. And so do these ideas here. And then, of course, it's the dehumanizing language. The people aren't worth $15 per hour, rather than these jobs don't justify a $15 an hour wage. I know it's a minor thing, but it gives you a little bit of insight into how these people view other people. Just a disgusting person, and Fox News just welcomes him with open arms. The host didn't even bat an eyelash when he dropped this in there. We'll have more from this Art Laffer appearance on the David Pakman Show Instagram, which I hope you're following at David Pakman Show. One of our sponsors is Curiosity Stream, a subscription streaming service that offers thousands of documentaries from some of the world's best filmmakers, including titles you can't find anywhere else. If you are serious about watching documentaries and you don't have Curiosity Stream, I don't even know what you're doing. My girlfriend and I have not been able to get enough Curiosity Stream. We can watch it on the TV, smartphone, iPad, all of the devices. They have documentaries on politics, history, science, economics, technology. I recently watched Berlin 1945. Super interesting. Hopefully in advance of being able to actually visit Berlin as things open up. Really excellent film. Curiosity Stream is always adding new titles. I have definitely noticed a lot of great stuff on Curiosity Stream that's not available on Netflix, Hulu, or Amazon. When you go to curiositystream.com/Pakman, you will get unlimited access to the world's top documentaries. And for my viewers, because you're so great, when you use the promo code Pakman, you'll get 25% off a subscription, making it only $14.99 a year.